Hello and welcome to lesson 2 of Mrs Patnell's Phonics. Okay, as we will start every lesson with our flashcards, you'll go straight into them today. I hope you're all fine on this Tuesday morning if that's when you're doing it. And I have my big pile here, but don't worry, we're not going to go through all of them. I'll leave some of the phase 2 ones because we know them so well. Let's pop those to the bottom. Here's our homemade flashcard. Unk, unk. Shh. J. X. Z. Z. Qu. Ch. Or the. Ng. A. E. I. O. R. Or. Ow. Oi. Ear. Air. But mostly y. Y. Or oo. S. Couple of phase 2s. I. T. Excuse the chickens again. Okay, so that's phase 2, some phase 2 and mostly phase 3 sounds there for today. I also want us to go and visit rewriting some of our digraphs and trigraphs. So today we are going to have a go at writing. You want to think back in your memory how to write these digraphs and trigraphs. They would have just been in the ones we just picked. I think it might be laying an egg. Our first one that we want to go back and revisit is writing the A sound. A. So have a go at writing the A digraph on your board. Pause the video while you have a go and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so the A sound is 2 letters making one sound. The first letter being an A and the second one in the digraph being an I. And together they are making the A sound. Okay, so well done if you got that right. Give it a tick. If not, correct it and change it. I seem to have lost my tissue again, so I'm going to have to use my sleeve. And the next sound I want you to have a go at is writing the air sound. It's a trigraph, so 3 letters making one sound. What are those 3 letters and in which order do they go? Have a go at writing it on your board now, and then we'll go through it together afterwards. The air sound. Okay, the air sound, 3 letters as we said, starts with an A. Second letter's an I, just like the A sound just now. But then on the end, to make the trigraph air on your boards there. Okay, so that's the air sound. Give yourself a tick if you got it right. No idea. Oh, my tissue's on the floor. There it is. So I'm going to give that a rub, and the last sound I want you to revisit today on your boards is a nice one, my favourite digraph. Shh. Have a go on your board, 2 letters making the sh sound. What are those 2 letters? Pause the video to have a go, and then we're going to do it together. So the sh sound is this, which looks really tricky if you've never done cursive before, so write your normals if you are not in my class and you don't do cursive. And we're going to push up tall, back down the line, halfway up and over with your arch for your that goes with this to make the digraph shh. Okay. Well done if you got that right. And that's our revisiting writing our digraphs today. Now we're going to have a go, and we haven't done this for a while because I didn't think that my poster was up to it, but I'm hoping that you can see this okay on the camera. And we're going to have a go at singing the alphabet, okay? Now we've done this in my class several times before because at early years you need to know the names of the letters as well as the sounds they make. So singing it to a song is very good for helping it stay in your memory, okay? So we're going to sing it together to the good old alphabet song that you probably will recognise if you've not sung it in my class before. And then I'm just going to point to a few, and I want you to shout at the TV screen as you're watching, or your tablet screen, the name of the letter and the sound that it makes, okay? So the phonetic sound that we teach in phonics, and also the name we just sung in the alphabet song, okay? So hopefully you can see this okay on my camera, and I'm going to point to them as we sing the alphabet song. So, after 3. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Okay, that's our ABC song. You'll also notice on this poster, if it picks up okay on the video, that it has the capital version of the letter and the lowercase letter. Now, we're most used to writing the lowercase ones because that's the ones you use more than the capitals, but don't forget, if you're writing a sentence, you want to have the capital. Just the first letter of your first word would be the capital letter, and names of places and months of the year and things like that will need a capital letter. But we're learning all this as we go along, so don't worry too much, but it certainly is a good idea to have a good look at the capital version, which is the first version here on each letter, so you know what they look like and get familiar with what the capital versions look like. So I'm going to point to a couple now, and I want you to shout at the screen the name of the letter, so the one we just sang in the song, and the sound it makes when we're working with phonics and we're reading and writing. So I'm going to point to this one first, shout out the name and the sound it makes. So this is a K, and the sound it makes is K. I'm going to point to this one now. Hopefully you can see it with an umbrella next to it. And its name is the letter U, and the sound it makes is ah, ah. Now I'm going to point to this one here with a picture of a dog. Okay. What name does this letter have, and what sound does it make? Its name is a D, the letter D, and the sound it makes is D, D. And let's go for one more. I'm going to point to this one here with a picture of a house. And the name of the letter is a H. And the sound it makes is... Well done, excellent. We will sing the alphabet again this week. Put that down there. Right, now I want to have a go at reading some words. Now these words, as we spoke about yesterday, have some consonant sounds. Don't worry if you're not getting used to what they mean, but they're very close together. These ones are at the beginning. Yesterday's lesson we wrote words with 2 consonant sounds at the end that were really close together. These words are at the beginning, but they're really close together. But we've got to pull them apart. But remember, they sound so close, almost like one sound. So I want you to get used to reading those consonant sounds together and not getting too confused, okay? So the first one that we're going to do together is going to be this word, and I'm going to write it here on my board. It has 4 sounds, okay? And our 2 consonant sounds are here at the beginning, and they sound really close together. Okay, so reading this word, it does have 4 sounds. I'm putting 4 sound buttons at the bottom. So you can show your 4 phoneme flicky fingers if you want to and bend them down as you've made the sound. So we've got our first sound is S, well done, and our second one is T, T. But we don't say st, st as much. They almost sound like they're squeezing together, okay? So we've got our st, st, st. It's almost making a kind of st, 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 st sound. St, st, st. So st, ep, step, step, step. It's a step is our word, and these two are just very close, making an almost st sound. Okay, st. It's almost like the s is barely in there. It's so quick at the beginning. The next one we're going to do together, we're going to read together, is going to be, let's go with this one. So there are 4 sounds again. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sound buttons, but these 2 first sounds are very close together, remember. So our first letter is t, t, and our second one is r. But when we put them together, they're almost making a tr, tr, tr sound. Tr, tr. It sounds like it's a sound of its own, but it's not a digraph. It's just t, r, really close together. Tr, tr, I, trip, trip, trip. I'm going on a trip. So this is trip, with our 2 consonant sounds very close together at the beginning. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to put up a list, okay, and it will contain some of the ones we've just read together, and we're going to have a go at reading them a bit faster while they're up on the board, a bit of a quick read. So let's do one more together first of all, though. So we're going to do this one. 4 sounds again. 1, 2, 3, 4 sound buttons, but 2 sounds together at the beginning, really close together. Okay, so our first sound of our 4 sounds is f, and then we've got r. So f, r, f, r, f, r, f, r, f, r, o, f, r, o, from. From. You might write a birthday card and you put from Mrs Patnell or whoever it is that's writing it. So from. Okay, 2 sounds really close together. Fr, almost making a fr sound, but it's fr, really close together. So that's that one there. So I'm going to pin up my list now of words that have 4 sounds and with 2 consonants very close at the beginning. I've put sound buttons on to help you as well. Let's attach this up here. Okay. Hopefully you can see those clearly on the video. There are lots of different words on here, and as I say, some of them were the ones that we just looked at together. So that's a little clue for you to help you out. You can pause the video now if you want to, so you can see all of the words on the screen, and then just have a go at reading them all yourself. You can maybe time yourself to see how long it takes you. Now our maths this week is all about time, so that will certainly help out and link with our maths. So by all means, pause the video, have a go at reading them and get someone to time you on their mobile phone. Maybe you can do it every day and see if you get quicker and quicker at doing it. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to go through them one at a time with you now. So you've got choices to do it with me now, or pause the video and have a go at yourself and maybe time yourself, okay? So I'm going to start at the bottom and work up to the top. Okay, so hopefully you can see this very bottom one. 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds that we've got there. And the 2 consonant sounds that begin are really close together. So we've got 4 sounds. First sound is s. Second sound is oo. But if we put them together, sw, 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 sw. It's almost a sw sound, okay? So sw, sw, I, swim, swim, swim. So we got swim there. Let's give it a little tick. We've done swim. Our next one. Oh, we've got a war here, just like this one. Ooh, as our second sound. So we've got 4 sounds here. 1, 2, 3, 4. First sound. T. Tw, tw, in, tw, in, tw, tw, in, twin. We've got twins. It's 2 people that look the same. Then they are twins, but we've got twin here. Let's give that a tick. Over here on the right hand side, 4 sounds again. You can have your phoneme flicky fingers up to help you. First 2 sounds are really close together. F and r, fr, 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 og, frog, frog. Give it a tick. Frog. And our next one over here. First two sounds of our four sounds are very close together. P, p, pl, 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 an, plan, plan. It's a plan. It's going to make a plan. And let's go to the one above plan. Four sounds again. First two are really close together. First sound is s, and then we've got a k, sk, 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 sk. It's like a sk sound. Sk, sk. I, sk, ip, sk, ip, skip, ip, skip. Give it a tick. It's skip. Over here, four sounds again. Two sounds really close together at the beginning. We have t and r, t, r, t, r, tr, 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 ip, tr, ip, trip. You got a trip. We're going on a trip. This one here, st, 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 up, st, up, st, up, stop. There's our stop. This one over here, sp, 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 ot, sp, sp, ot, spot, spot. This last one, st, 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 ep, st, ep, st, ep, step. We've got step. Give that a tick. That's our list there. So I do recommend maybe taking a pause of this screen and going through them and timing yourself and trying to work on it all week so that you get those words much quicker and you get really used to recognising those single sounds but that they're really close together, those consonants, so that you have to read them almost like they're stuck together. Okay? Right, so that's our quick read for the day. I am then going to have a quick read through of two sentences with you. All right, we're going to read them together. You can pause the video, as I say, and have a go by yourself first. And I think many of you can do that. So challenge yourself. Pause the video and have a go at doing it by yourself. Okay. And then you can obviously play the video back and check you've got it right with me. But do have a go at pausing it first to have the go. So this is sentence one, it ends here. Let's just check our punctuation first. Our sentence starts, as they all should, with a capital letter. No cursive whooshes on this curly cur. Okay, that's our capital curly cur starting our sentence. You only do it for the first letter. Notice you don't do it for any of the other letters in the first word, just the first letter. So capital letter there. Another important thing in our sentence here are finger spaces. If I wrote this whole sentence with no spaces in between each word, it would look like just a big jumble of letters and you wouldn't be able to read it. So you must have those finger spaces, a space about the size of your finger. Mine are bigger here because it's for the video. But when you're writing it on your book, a nice space about the size of your finger. So use your finger in between each word when you are writing a sentence to make sure you get those nice gaps. It's very tricky for someone to read your sentence if it's all jumbled in together. Notice the punctuation on the end of this first sentence. It's the one that I think looks a bit like an ear with a dot at the bottom. It is a question mark. So that means that this sentence is a question. It needs an answer at the end, okay? So this is a question, and we know that because it's punctuated with a lovely question mark at the end of the sentence, okay? Remember, you don't put a full stop just because you're starting a new line. You're still flowing along the same sentence. So you won't put full stops at ends of lines. Punctuation only comes at the very end of the sentence when you finish talking about what's important that fills the whole sentence, and that's when you punctuate it. And this one, because it's a question, gets a question mark and not a full stop. So let's have a go at reading our sentence. Pause the video now to have a go yourself, but now we're going to do it together. So our first word, 3 sound buttons: k, an, k, an, can. We know this word, it's one of our common exception words. I. Can I? 4 sounds in this one. If you don't need to blend it when you're reading it, that is fine. If you can just say it straight out of your head, then do so. At this point in what would be the summer term, you should be able to read lots of words without blending them. But don't worry if you're struggling, do keep on with the good old blending. So, plan, plan, plan. Can I plan a trip. Trip. Let's put my sound buttons. Trip. Common exception word. This is helping you. This is tricking you. To. So, can I plan a trip to? Another common exception word. The. 4 sounds. Digraph in the middle. M, oo, n. M, oo, n. Moon. Can I plan a trip to the moon? Question mark. It needs an answer. Can you plan a trip to the moon? You could certainly plan one. Whether you get to do it, I don't know. But yes, you could plan a trip to the moon. Remember, when you're looking at this digraph, it could be the short or oo. If you tried the first, you get m, n, mun, mun. And it wouldn't quite make sense. So then you would know to go for the longer oo, m, oo, n, moon. Okay, can I plan a trip to the moon? I'm going to raise this up for our second sentence so we don't get confused with the first. So, as usual in our sentence, our collection of words that make sense when they're put together, we have our capital letter at the beginning. Only the first letter, remember, not all the others of the first word, just the first letter is a capital. We've got a capital here if you don't recognise it. Finger spaces as usual between each word, so it makes it nice and easy to read. And this one ends with one of those things that looks like an ear with a dot, a question mark as well, so it is a question. But if I bring you back to here, you can see there's another piece of punctuation in the sentence, okay? We have got, after only the first word, a straight line with a dot at the bottom. That punctuation is called an exclamation mark. Well done if you remembered that. So it's an exclamation mark, which means that sometimes we use it at the ends of commands to sound a bit bossy, or sometimes if we're a bit excited or a bit frightened, it helps us know that when we're reading it, we've got to read it with a bit of extra emphasis on the word, okay? So when we're reading it, we'll blend it together, but then we'll remember to say it with some extra emphasis on the word because of that exclamation mark telling us to do so. So we've got 4 sounds, a capital H, oop. By the way, pause it now if you want to read it by yourself, as I suggest you do so, but we're going to go for it together. So, oop, help, help. There's our exclamation mark telling us to say help. Now we recognise this word from the other sentence, can. This is one of our common exception words. This is helping you, but this is being tricky, so it gets a jiggly line. Ooh, making an ooh sound in our common exception word. Hopefully you just recognised it by looking at it. So help. Can you? 4 sounds here. 2 consonants at the beginning, quite close together. Grab. Grab. Help. Can you grab? We've got a digraph here and 2 single sounds. The, at, that. Help. Can you grab that? Digraph in the middle, so it's a bit wiggly there. Gr. Is that 2 consonants close together? So g and r, making a gr, e, n. Green. 4 sounds on this one. Frog. Frog. Help! Can you grab that green frog? Or 4, and this is one of our common exception words, this is helping you, this is being a bit tricky, hopefully you recognise it, me. Help! Can you grab that green frog for me? It's a question, yes or no. Can you help and grab that green frog for me? So that's why it needs a question mark on the end of the sentence. Okay, excellent reading of sentences together today. I'm going to give you a sentence to have a go if you want to stretch yourself to have a go at writing. Okay, now the sentence that I want you to have a write of, and it's on my plan here. So, only if you feel like doing this and you want to give yourself an extra task, and I think you can probably give it a good go. Your sentence that I want you to write, and you can get your adult to write it down in secret so they can keep telling you what it is so you don't forget it, is, will a clown put on a green wig or stick with his brown hair? Okay, so this clown obviously has brown hair. Will he change it by putting a wig on? So your sentence is, will a clown put on a green wig or stick with his brown hair? You've got to think about the punctuation at the end of that sentence. What type of a sentence is it? How will you punctuate it? Don't forget your capital letter at the beginning on the word will. And finger spaces, of course. So, will a clown put on a green wig or stick with his brown hair? Now, this is a huge sentence to write. So, I don't want you to feel like you have to give it a go if it's too much. Okay? So, I think picking out of that sentence, if you're finding it a bit tricky, you could have a go at writing brown, or you could have a go at writing hair. Brown or hair, or both of those, okay? Brown or hair. If you're finding those words, the whole word's a bit tricky because there are some digraphs and trigraphs amongst those words, then if you can hear the initial sound on brown, the first sound, not the last one, the first one at the beginning of the word, and the initial sound, the first sound on hair, have a go at writing those on your board, and your adults can give you a hand with the other digraphs, trigraphs, or single sounds that you might need.